everybody, Old Man Nerd here. Yes, I know it's been a while since I made any videos, but so we're going to be talking about the Inspiron 3880 gaming PC. So what I got here is a 3880 I ordered from Dell Outlet, so it's actually a refurb, and it's just box a lot smaller than I expected. Talk about what we got here. What we got here is the Dell keyboard, which I will use. It's not e-waste in this house. Keyboard's always good. Mouse and power cable. And a very tiny 3880 itself. Come out of the box. Come on. Nice recyclable packaging, except for the plastic bag. This weighs nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah. Here it is. Here's the beast. Inspiron 3880. Pretty low-end system. This one has a Core i3-10100, which is why I got it. I think it's the slowest processor. I don't think they have any Pentiums or Celerons in these. I'm not sure. But it's a Core i3, which is an 8-thread or 4-core 8-thread CPU with a max speed of 4.3 gigahertz, which should be more than sufficient to play a game or two. The one downside to this, it also came with 4 gigs of RAM, which I will rectify, a 1 terabyte hard drive, which again will be rectified, and the biggest downside probably to it is the 200 watt power supply, which limits what I can put in it, especially since the processor is a 65 watt part. I thought it was going to be a lot less than that. Let's see what we got in the box here. Yep, so we got one PCI Express slot, 200 watt power supply, and this duct over the processor heatsink. Here's my hard drive, just a Western Digital Blue, 1 terabyte, 7200 RPM. Does have built-in Wi-Fi card and Bluetooth, and most importantly though, it has an M.2 slot right here, which is the main reason why I opted for this lower end system anyway, because that makes a huge difference having that slot in there. So what we're going to do with this, in addition to upgrading to an M.2 drive, upgrading the RAM, we're also going to be throwing in my son. This is for my son's. He's currently running an FM2 Plus A6 processor, so way underpowered for anything today. But I've got a GTX 1050. It's not a 1050 Ti, it's just a regular GTX 1050. Which is only, the 75 watt part, which should work in this 200 watt system. And if I do have problems, I can get my hands on a 260 or 240 watt version of the power supply, which should make a big difference in the stability if I have any issues with the 1050. Yeah, so what did I get for this thing to go with it? I've already ordered, oops, production quality second to none. So what we did here is we got a single stick of Crucial 3200 DDR4 8 gig, so we'll have a total of 12 gigs in the system, and a 512 gigabyte M.2 Gen 3 drive from Team Group. I have a Team Group SSD in my main system, and it's adequate, and for the price it's really kind of hard to beat, and they still have decent reviews despite the low price, so hopefully we won't have any problems with that. So before I even turn this on, I'm going to upgrade this system, and then we're going to reinstall Windows onto the SSD. I have to go get a flash drive for that so I can get it done. And then once that's all set up, then we'll go ahead and transfer over the GTX 1050 and give it a shot. So what else comes in this? Let's see, what do we get for I/O here? We got, of course, the Ethernet, 4 USB ports, what is that, a display port? No, it's an HDMI and VGA. And on the front we have 4 more USB ports, a combo audio port, which is going to be nice because my son does use headsets. Power button, of course, SD card reader. Yeah, pretty slick little system. I mean, and the price for this was $260 plus $30 shipping, so $290 even is what I paid for this. And I think I spent another like $95 between the RAM and the hard drive or the SSD to go into it. So it's not exactly cheap, but I mean, it's not exactly expensive either. And you know, I get a warranty with the parts and everything. And the only downside, see, this is kind of a dead end. We're not going to be really upgrade this anymore past the 1050 that's going to be in there. And the 12 gigs of RAM, it's pretty much going to be maxed out. So hopefully it'll last for a few years before I have to upgrade it again. And that's really what I was looking for, something that's, because that A6 that he's got now it started out as an A4 2-core 4-thread system. Then I upgraded it to the A6 for like $10 or $20. I paid like almost nothing for that processor off eBay, and he's been running that A6 ever since. But it's time for something a little bit faster, and I don't think that the GTX 1050 is going to really stress the i3 much. I think the i3 can handle a lot more than what I'm throwing at it. And you know, if push comes to shove, I can always do an external power supply, because I do make an adapter to plug in a standard power supply into this motherboard. It's like $15. So that's a possibility if I do need a bigger video card in the future, but I don't really want to have to deal with an external power supply. I think just using it as we can until it's no longer usable, and then moving on to another new computer is the way to go. So we're going to get started on upgrading this beast and seeing what we get out of it. Okay, so real quick, here's the system's final form. Got all the upgrades done, got everything copied over from the old system. So the GTX 1050, it's a MSI dual fan. It's pretty beefy, dual slot too, so that barely fits. There's the SSD. The hardest part was finding a screw, because that fits in the mounting hole. That took a lot longer than I thought I did. 12 gigs of RAM, one 8 gig stick, one 4 gig stick. Overall, should be a pretty nice little system with a lot of longevity into it. Well, I guess we'll see how it performs once I get it all back up and running. Okay, so overall, I'm pretty darn happy with the results. I was able to turn up the settings, turn up the average frame rate. I mean, it's only a 60 hertz monitor, so we set it to 60 hertz. And yeah, the performance and quality is amazing. I mean, I think it's still GPU limited, because it is only a 1050, but that i3 10100 puts out plenty of power, especially compared to the old processor. And you know, it's comparable to a Ryzen 3 3300X, which, I mean, the processor alone is almost what I paid for the box itself from Dell. So pretty darn happy with the results. And the system is tiny, quiet, and just, I mean, it's just so fast. Just general usage is just so much better being run the M.2 instead of the SATA SSD. I can already tell a difference, and just in boot times and just normal usage. So yeah, excellent little computer, great little budget build. Of course, I already had the video card, which makes a huge difference. If you don't have a video card, then trying to get one for this might be a bit of a challenge, but for under $400, not including the video card, I couldn't be happier with the overall performance of this little Dell Inspiron. Thanks for watching.